If I could go back on time, I would say just feel confident, feel confident on what you're doing and, because the other people perceives that as well. And then that's how, because they ask not to judge, they ask to help. And I was feeling like maybe that I'm going to be judged or something. And those first years especially, I think are hard, but they're hard because we make them harder instead of reach out. I wish I could have reached out to more people, to be more open about my struggles and to find coaches or earlier on time to just be open, like and honest and vulnerable.
That is a huge nugget that, again, most companies are started with a founder and someone that's willing to do the work, the grind. They have an idea, they're trying really hard, and very few do stop and ask for help. Welcome to The Roll Call, the podcast where we dive into the roles that define us. I'm your host, John Glahn. On each episode, we explore the journeys of people discovering their true roles in life, business, and beyond. Get ready for inspiring conversations about finding purpose and authenticity. Let's roll the roll call. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Roll Call podcast. I am John Glahn, your host. I have with me Alejandra Malo.
Yes, thank you.
An amazing story. I can't wait for the twists and turns. I know things, but I don't know things, and I can't. And I wanted to ask questions, but I don't want to find. I want to find out in real time. So I'm very, very excited for this. She's the founder of the Pink Team Group, which has a number of different parts to it, which we'll get to.
Yes.
And has an incredible story that certainly didn't start in Lafayette, Indiana. So everyone's accounted for. Let's start the roll call. So,
Thank you.
Allie, you play the part. Right, the pink. We noticed that right away. You should see her coat.
Yes.
All pink, and I can't wait to hear why about that. We were able to do a nice little pink backdrop for us. This is actually
Thank
really
you.
fun for me.
That was nice.
So I generally like to start with, you've been all over the world, from Mexico originally, and you ended up here in Lafayette, Indiana, and you don't live here in Indiana. And I can't wait to hear how this all comes out. So. How did you get here with Pink Team?
So, well, I was raised and born in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you said, I've been traveling all over. I don't even know how that happened. I guess it's my father who loved traveling all over the world as well. And he took me everywhere. And then somehow I did like a lot the United States. And I came here to live for the first time when I was probably 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for a German company, and I fell in love with the United States, really. And I was working with this German company that they took me to Germany and to Hungary for a year. And after that, I moved here to Indiana because I got married.
Oh, okay.
And so I quit my job with the German company after 6 years, and that's how I came here. And I didn't know anything or anybody in this town, specifically here in Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
And from the moment that I arrived, people is extremely welcoming. And I found like the town was little, and I was like, am I gonna be able to adapt? Are they gonna be nice with me? Because obviously, as you can see, my accent, my looks, I look very Mexican, and I didn't know if I was going to be accepted or how,
right.
if I was going to fit in, right? And
yeah.
it has been such a great experience to be here. I really, this is my adopted home.
That's fantastic. So, you said you're traveling with your father. Was he working with a corporation that was global, or what was the moving around?
Yes. Okay. So the very first time that I traveled on my own I went to France to do my fourth year of economic science. I was studying accounting in Mexico.
Okay.
In Querétaro, Mexico. I'm from Querétaro, Mexico. And then my dad told me, if you ever want to go to another country to do something, you can only go with the studying something. I will support it only on that way. And because I wanted to do just like an exchange, like a fun exchange.
Yeah.
And he didn't support that. He was like, no, not fun. You go because you are going to accomplish something.
Wow.
So I had to learn French, and I had to do a lot of things and improve my credits at school. And it was a challenge because I wasn't an A+ student. And
I don't believe you, but go ahead.
no, and I remember one of my now she's my sister-in-law. We were studying together in the university, and then she told me, "Oh, I wish I had that offer. So your father said that you could go." And I'm like, "Yeah." So she's like, "Why don't you just study harder and learn the language and go?" So that's how it happened. My first trip to France, and that's where am I right now, actually living with my kids after, I don't know, 30 something years. And
wow. Okay. I'm going to come back to the last part with you living there. I want to go back to, it wasn't, I'm going to go study abroad there. I'm going to learn the language.
yes.
That is so mind-blowing to me my accent, some might say I have an accent. I don't think I do, right? I'm just a purebred, Midwestern, white guy that I took German in high school, but I couldn't remember. I remember ja, maybe. But I'm always enthralled and amazed by around the world, other countries, right? I mean, whether all European countries, in Asia, in South America, that right, English is the universal language around the world, and so many cultures, it just blows me away. The intellect that it takes and what it takes to, one, know your own and how to articulate your own language, and then you're throwing in another language, which is English, and then you said, hey, why not? Let me go learn another one just so I can go study abroad somewhere else. When did you start the learning French, and then when did you actually go?
Well, I actually did way too fast, and it was because I had a couple of, we are 7 kids in my house. And from the 7, 4 of us speak French. So 3 of them already spoke French before me. So I was like, okay, it sounded to me like that's natural. I can just learn French easily, which wasn't true. But I was thinking that was going to be easy. So that's how I decided that France was the easiest place to go and the fastest. And nobody told me different. But it actually wasn't not easy. It wasn't fast. It was hard. It was probably one of the hardest years from what I remember on life and studies and everything, because arriving there by myself, and I don't know, we have that idea of like, okay, it's gonna be like people's gonna be friendly, everybody's gonna help me out, and it wasn't that way at all.
Right.
Like they were. If you're coming from another country, then the expectations were that you were going to be a very good student and you were already dominating the language and everything. And so that was hard. I remember studying all day long, and not like many people think that you are talented. Like, for you it's very easy to learn languages, and it's not true. It's the same than math or any other thing. I feel like you sit down, you study, and then you learn. That's what it is. And I remember just reading books and writing things until French became the language that I was just speaking fluently.
Wow. Because, again, whether it's real or not, right, most people make the joke that French, certainly in Paris, right, they don't love Americans, right?
Yeah.
Either speak our language or get out kind of thing. That's when English is the first language, let alone being English is already your second language or third. I don't know. You probably speak 6 languages. I'm sure you do. But so I can't imagine how difficult that is, knowing that for them, the default is be English potentially is their second language, certainly not Spanish.
Certainly not. Well, they are close to Spain.
Yeah.
So, but I remember my English wasn't as good neither. So I was like, and the teachers no one will try to speak any other thing. It was just like, you're supposed to speak French. So I think that what helped me was that I was surrounded with only French. So I was bombarded with French the whole time. And then the teachers didn't kind of give me another option. They were actually at the beginning questioning, like if you are here is because you are a good student. No question about it. So I had to prove that. And I remember when I left my home, one of my brothers, the one that lived before me in France, told me, remember, you're not going as just Alejandra. You are representing all the Mexicans here. So I was oh my God, no pressure. Yes. And I was like, I don't want to be like the one that, don't. So every time I thought like I don't want them to think wrong about Mexico. I have to make it look good. So at the end of the year, I remember like one of the teachers told me that he was very impressed with my advance and my, you know, my credits and everything. And so that, you know, I felt proud. I came back home. I miss them tremendously. I think that that's when I value the most my family and my brothers and parents and the cooking of my mom and everything.
Oh, I bet.
For the first time, yes.
No, that's quite a leap of faith
Yes.
for yourself.
Yes.
So let's fast forward to here in Lafayette. Had you lived? You said you did live in these states before Lafayette.
Exactly. I live in Greenville, South Carolina for it was like 2 years.
Okay.
I loved it there as well. You know,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful experience,
Yeah.
and that's when I said, "Oh, I love the United States."
Yeah.
And before France, I lived in Switzerland, and I did like a lot Switzerland, but it was a totally different experience because it was more fun. You know, it was more about learning the language and this, and so I already had like some references before I came to the U.S. And then after that, I got Germany and Hungary. And that's how, you know, I start comparing like everywhere.
Oh, that's incredible. So now you're in Lafayette. I think we can start the story about Pink Team, right?
Exactly.
So tell us about Pink Team and how it started.
So I'm coming from a family of entrepreneurs. So when I didn't have a job, I was thinking like I probably want to do something. And I said, well, I'm going to open a business. And I thought something easy. Again, I guess I'm always thinking this is going to be easy. And, you know, I didn't plan that it was going to become what it is right now. It was just an easy plan of opening a cleaning business. And I started just cleaning houses for women undergoing cancer free of charge. And then I went to a meeting. And in this, you know, the BNI. And then everybody, you know, goes there to sell something, you know, networking. And immediately somebody told me like, hey, can you clean my house? And I was like, oh, that's going to be my first paid client. Another person, hey, can you clean my office? And I was like, oh, it looks like I'm starting a business for real.
Yeah.
And that's how everything started. I wasn't really like prepared or like... I mean, I did everything because I'm an accountant. So when I started, my plan was to start 6 months later. Like it was like my planning, you know.
Plan, right.
And I was in the planning process. Like that was the first month, and so I skipped the 6 months. I just went straight to, you know, do what. And I opened the bank account. I opened the business. I opened everything, and boom, it started right away.
Wow.
Yes.
And you started, but you were the one doing the cleaning.
Yes, I hired a couple of people right away. That I thought, you know, that I was going to be able to manage, because when I was in the German company, I used to work in the human resources department, and they had 1,500 employees in Mexico, and I did the payroll, and, you know, so I thought, well, 2 people is nothing compared to 1,500. And it was a lot for me because I didn't know all the rules here. I didn't know anyone, so at the end of the day, it's way more because of the learning, you know, of the system. And that's how, you know,
Yeah, big
that's
companies
how it started.
have all that figured out, right? They have all the processes in place and the tools and all those things, and so it seems easy.
And if you have questions, you can ask a coach, or they hire someone to explain you or everything. And in here, first of all, I didn't have money. The only money that I had, I bought a house in Querétaro, Mexico. And so I had like $100 left in my bank account. So that's how I started the business, with that. And that was challenging.
Wow. So, and then how long ago was that?
It's almost 15 years. In January will be 15 years.
Wow. All right. So 2010.
2011.
No, 11.
Yes.
I'll get my math right. You're the accountant.
No.
Okay. So then you start before you plan to. You had a plan. That's people always say you have a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right? Like, oh, okay, now we better go figure this out. So then, now it's turned into so much. So let's talk about. I think they said 4 different pieces or part. Talk more about what the Pink Team Group actually is. What else is underneath it besides just the cleaning?
Exactly. So it started with the cleaning, and it was several years, maybe 7, until I said, okay, I'm going to start buying properties and rent them out. So I did the second company, which is rentals.
Oh, okay.
And then I said, okay, let's we have a lot of things like tables, and so let's rent out the things that we have. So now I have a rentals for events. And then I said, well, like 3 years ago, I mean, as I told you before, like everything started cleaning free of charge for women undergoing cancer. So I said, well, I really think that because when I started, I said, if it doesn't work, it won't matter, because I help already people that was in need. And if I have to close, it's fine. I did that. That is good for the community or for myself, for my heart, for everything. And so I went back to that. And I said, okay, let's open a foundation to help orphan kids in Mexico. And so that was 3 years ago. And the first year we only helped at that house in Mexico. We continued to do the same house. And the second year we helped the another house also here, Hartford House. But now I was thinking, my kids were born here. So now this is my adopted home. I'm from Mexico, but my kids are from here. Right. So I'm like, I have to do for the kids here in the community, and that was Hartford House. And then this year we choose another 2 houses, which is the Crossing and Isaiah 117. That the gala just happened this Friday. So
wow,
that's the biggest event we do to collect money and to help the houses.
Sure. So when you say help the house, right? Is that orphanage house? Is that what?
Yes, in Mexico it's orphanage, because in Mexico it's very different than here. I feel like here there is more foster parents. There is more the system gets more involved. Over there they really are in their own. So if a kid doesn't have help, he will starve to death really. Sure. So helping the house, this specific house, what they do, they get a kid from the streets or wherever, and then 2 years later, it's like a revolving door. They get to find a family, and they match them, and then they go. So then they keep helping more kids. Instead of keeping the kid until he's 18, they just make it like a revolving door. In here, what we do is like the houses is more like because they went through abuse, or the Crossing, maybe you have heard about them. It's like in the last stage of being a kid. They are in the high school, and it's the high schools that doesn't accept these kids because they did something wrong, maybe drugs, maybe something, and then they put them in that place.
Wow. Okay, so we went from the beginning, and then we came to kind of the end, and now in the middle. So I know now the cleaning part, you started by just cleaning houses, but that's not just what you do today, right?
Yes, actually we don't do houses anymore. So that's been a while that we don't do houses. We only do like bigger places like factories or clinics, or just bigger places, bigger offices.
Right. Yes. So that feels and seems pretty complex. How many employees are a part of that group?
We have around 100.
Really?
And we expanded. So we were here only in Lafayette at the beginning, and then we start getting offers to go to Crawfordsville or to Indianapolis or different places around us. And so we got the experience to how to open in different cities. And then when we got an offer to open in another state, we were like, okay, we already have the experience on the distance. We can do that. Yeah. So then we opened in Texas, and then the next year we opened in Georgia, and then Kentucky, and then Illinois. And we just started this month, actually not this month, in December 15th, we're starting in Wisconsin. And yes, so hopefully keep growing.
Wow. So are you going and following like your companies, like you're with larger corporations, are you just following by where they are?
Yes, in most of the cases. And many times is someone that recommended us that say, just call them. Actually, we don't do much marketing. It's mostly incredible that even in the big corporations, they still ask for recommendation, like who do you use, so we can use the same ones.
Right. Wow. So what do you think has been the driver to grow to that kind of scale?
I think it's I really don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe when I got pregnant with my children, I guess I thought that's it, like I just have to be a mom. It sounds ugly to say just, because it's a big role. Right. It's probably the most important role in my life right now. And but it's like it's very normal for our culture to actually think that, it's like, okay, now this is the most important thing. Everything else is eliminated. And but in the contrary, to me, there was that moment where I said, well, if now I have to do something for somebody else, now it's my kids, like, so I want to continue to do this. And it was exactly when I got pregnant with both of them that a big opportunity arrived, that I was like, I'm going to close. And then I remember getting a big factory in town when I was pregnant with my daughter Isabella, and I was about to close. And it was so funny, and then also I bought the little offices where we started. I bought them exactly also when I found out I was pregnant. Everything happened at the same time. And it was so funny. I had a friend calling me. So I found out I was pregnant, and the next day in the morning, a friend calls me that was real estate. And then she tells me, congratulations. So I'm like, how can she know? Nobody knows. Yeah. I'm like, how do you know? What am I supposed to know? And I'm like, well, I'm pregnant. And she's like, no, your offer was accepted. So I was like, oh, okay. So I think that it's true. In Spanish, we say that every kid comes with a torta, like with a sandwich under their arm. And it's like businesses or something. And I think they both came with big things under their arm. So I was like, I'm not closing anymore. I got that factory, so I'm like, no, there is no way. I can't close. It's too good to be true. No. Yeah. So I keep going with everything.
Wow. So let's fast forward. So you live in Paris.
Yes.
And your jobs, the things that your companies do, are very localized. Meaning you have physically people that have to go into a building that is in a location, and for all of your businesses.
Yes.
And you're in Paris, France. Talk to me about this.
That's very crazy. And so I actually, I think that the key when I got very, very tired was always the people. And it's been so many moments when the kids were born. I mean, my refuge was Pink Team. I went there, and all these beautiful, wonderful, experienced mothers that work with me came to, I do this, do that, let me help you, So how can you quit anything when all this, like, I actually felt more supported after I had the kids than before. Because then I learned that mothers are way more resilient, we are going to fight with everything we have.
Right.
For our kids. And before you are a mother, it's like, oh, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, And so I guess I talked to my directors that I have in each of the companies, and I told them, like, I wanted to go to France to give my kids the experience of, like, it was going to be only 1 year. And that, tell me your thoughts. Do you think you can manage and everything? And they were like, this is the best moment for you, not for the companies. For you as a mother to live this experience with them, because they are going to grow, and that's not coming back. The time is not coming back. They are all parents, so they're very, understanding. And I'm like, okay, so then I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Yes, go ahead. And to my surprise, they manage very, very well. I became more strategic, and they became more like fast on resolutions. Maybe sometimes I feel like I stopped before. I used to stop certain processes because let me just hold on. Let me make that decision, and if, with me not being here, then they have to. Let's just do it. Because she's not here. Let's just do that, and then So, I guess it has been positive.
No, absolutely. So that takes trust in your people.
Definitely.
For them to do that.
Definitely, right. It's having a very good team. I really think that. From top to bottom, everybody it's been very well. Like, I feel like human resources does such a good job on recruiting and training and just being kind and understanding.
Yeah. So how did you come about how to structure and getting the right people? What are tools or what are things that you've had around you to because again, most of us don't know how to do this until we're in it.
Yes.
Right.
So, something that we have that I like to show off always is that we have 3% turnover, which is like very, very unheard of.
And a high manual labor business, right?
And it's very difficult in a janitorial cleaning business to have so low turnover. And I will say is the human resources team that does a very good job from recruiting, It's not like, so they start from there, like with their personality, because I think that the cleaning, anyone can clean. But really having the attitude and the personality, that's what, you come with it or you don't. Because we can train anyone to clean and to be very good at it. So they just do a very good job, the human resources team. They are like very good at, checking that the people is really good and have the right attitude.
Wow.
Yes.
Something tells me it's more than just your HR team that's doing that, right? I think because in most cases that, there's a culture that's set, whether you're intending to or not, there is a culture that's being set that makes people want to stay, right? To have 3% turnover is incredible, again, in a traditionally high labor force, right?
Yeah.
Manual labor. And so something tells me there's a secret sauce in there somewhere that, and to be able to just continually, like, moving from a state to state, you have to translate that. It has to somehow, it keeps continuing to get down to someone.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, for example, today before I leave, they were making the calls to the people that are in the other states to bring them for the Christmas party, So those are the little things. Even if they say no, some of them are like, no, I have my children and my husband, no, I can't travel. And but we tried our best to make everybody feel part of the team, because if one is doing a bad job, we are all affected. It's many families now, so we try to everybody be, right, be good, be just not for just myself. I have to do it for everybody. So
wow.
I guess that's
Wow. So what is your role today?
It's more like a strategy, I will say. I mean, of course, not being here. For example, like I do meetings every week to learn the numbers and with the leaders specifically. But I try to still do like lunches where everybody's together, so we can, when I come, we try to have that so I can see everybody. And I try to be, for example, be the one that is serving the food, so I can see every single person passing by and say, hello, Maria, hello, John, hello.
Wow.
I tried that because otherwise I don't have the opportunity anymore to
right.
many times don't even meet them, So, yeah, I think my role right now is more strategy and the financial situation, trying to see where we want to put the money or invest, or where do we want to grow, or yes. Or think, for example, lately we've been thinking like, should we have never have a salesperson, and it's really, everybody's like, how do you do your sales? I don't know how this happened. It just happened. So we were trying to do that, and then we don't do it. Well, let's do marketing then, and things like that. But it's more about a strategy, I feel like, right now, my role.
So you've been growing by doing the right things, it sounds like, right?
Yes.
And people referring you, and
And I really feel like it has been more organic growth. It hasn't been something like, okay, we started and the next day we were big. No, it's been organic. I'm not sure if it's the best or not. Every entrepreneur has their own experience. To me, I think it has been good because that had given me the opportunity to be a mom as well.
Yeah.
And to adapt also myself to the growth. And it didn't come like, okay, now I have this and how am I going to manage? I feel like I've been, also learning with the life.
That's great. I'm seeing and hearing some servant leadership through the whole thing, and meaning, like you already exemplified it, right? I want to make sure that I'm helping serve the employees, right? That's very literal, but like most businesses are started by the founder has an idea or is the one that does the grit, the hard work, and does all the things up front. And then what's hard, and I resonate with this a little bit, that sometimes we lose that part of what we started the business for, or why we did it, or the hard work, or the touch to the, to the work that's being done. Because the more we grow and we scale, we have to remove ourselves a little bit from that. And then depending on how big you want to scale, right? It's about, then you fall in love with what you were doing at the time, and then you fall in love with the business part, and then you start getting more involved and fun with the strategy part, and it's depending on who you are and how you're wired and how you have things set up, it's hard to stay close to the folks doing the work.
True.
Right?
Yes. But I try to understand, to constantly still understand. Like, for example, we do walkthroughs, and like right now that I'm not here, I haven't done as I wish I could. But I'm coming back on when the school year finishes, and that's my plan. Like while I'm here, I'm like, okay, already trying to plan for whenever I'm come back. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and because I really feel like. Well, when I talk to everybody, I always say like we are all cleaners. I'm too, like I'm. It's not like I'm not doing anything and you are doing. No, like we are all professionals in what we do, and we are all professional cleaners. And everybody in the company has done cleaning. It's not like, okay, no, I came here, I'm a manager, I'm not doing anything else. No, I mean everybody passed through the cleaning in order to understand, because I mean that's how can we talk to a client or something? We don't know anything about what's really happening in the floors, no?
Wow. No, I think this is a great story of growing from within, literally growing from the ground up, and having that same experience with your people. So it sounds like, again, your leadership team or your directors, you once hired them to be the ones doing the work, the cleaning. Right?
Definitely. No, like I knew that, for example, the director of the cleaning, he was going to be a manager or something, like he came for that. But as soon as he arrived, we both went to a cleaning job because something happened, and I was like, okay, perfect opportunity, let's go. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, he rolled his sleeves, let's go. And we still make fun of it because he was wearing like a very shiny shoes or something. And he was like, oh, I didn't expect the first day already going to do the job, And I know that if something one day, hopefully never happens, but if something happen one day, he will not have a problem to go and, do something if needed.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and I like that, that he doesn't. I mean, I'm not talking about only him. I think, and nobody cares. Like, okay, I have to do it. We have to do it. That's fine.
Right. No, that is so fantastic. Okay, and so I know that like your connection to me, how you got here today, was the local chamber here in Lafayette. So, how has that been helpful? The chamber.
Oh no, they are great. Actually, Jesus, that is here in the chamber, I remember when he reached out to me because he was trying to grow the Hispanic community in the chamber, which he has done a fantastic job. And then after that, he actually became part of the board. We asked him to be part of our board in the foundation, and I mean, I feel like the connection with the chamber is just great. And something that I notice is like when being an entrepreneur, like it's not that much about the money. I feel like it is a lot about how you feel when you're doing things with everybody. Like this has no price on it. It's just beautiful. Like being with the chamber, of course they will help me. I assume, I haven't asked them ever, like, okay, can you help me find more clients or something? Yeah. But I guess if I ask them, they will be like, okay, let's figure out who or what or something. I mean, they are all like helpful here. No?
Oh, what I found, again, almost with teeth, right? That is the mission of chamber, right, of commerce. This is the Greater Lafayette Chamber. But, again, I always feel welcome, right? And it is about the community and the network, right? It's not about competing or whatnot. And a lot of companies give a lot of money to do lots of nice things, and some might think it's just to put their logo on the wall. But what it creates is an amazing community of people that they're giving and wanting to help. I mean, right? There's the reason you're sitting in this chair today. Was the chamber's like, oh, she has such an amazing story. I want her to tell it, right? So that's why you're here, and I'm so grateful that you made the time. She's in town for 2 weeks from Paris, France, and it just so happens that I'm here, and she can be here on this podcast. So we're truly blessed for that. So thank you.
No, thank you. No, in the contrary, I also felt blessed that, this when I received the email, I'm like, oh, it's exactly when I'm going to be there. That's perfect.
No, it is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. So I do like to finish on one thing, which is I like to have my guests think of a failure or a mistake or a misstep that they've done. If it's in business, great. If it's some other thing that they learned the most from, that others could benefit from.
Yes, I was so insecure about myself, not confident about myself when I started the business. And I was so not confident of saying that I was an entrepreneur. So I remember going to places and it's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know if say like I clean or I'm an entrepreneur or what to
Sure.
say. If I could go back on time, I will say just feel confident, feel confident on what you're doing and to, because that the other people perceives that as well. And then that's how, because they ask not to judge, they ask to help.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like maybe that I'm gonna be judged or something. And those first years especially, I think that are hard, but they're hard because we make them harder instead of reach out. I wish I could have reached out to more people, to be more open about my struggles and to find coaches or earlier on time to just be open, like and honest and vulnerable, because people will actually see that and come and do their best to connect you, to give you jobs, to anything.
Yeah.
So that, I think that was the worst mistake. I took many years to start looking for help here in in town.
That is a huge nugget that, again, most companies are started with a founder and someone that's willing to do the work, the grind. They have an idea, they're trying really hard, and very few do stop and ask for help. They do it based on their determination, hard work ethic, maybe some friends, but very few are vulnerable because they don't want everyone to feel like that they're failing or they're not succeeding. So they don't open up that's what's great about certain communities, whether it be, I'm part of Vistage, if you're familiar with that. It's a CEO peer group.
Yes, I know.
Or again,
I'm in the entrepreneurs organization. It's a little similar.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so again, things like that, where the whole point of it is to break down that barrier of confidential, or you have a confidential forum, and then you hear everyone is struggling just like you, and then you have people that you can talk through. So that's the beauty of that. So what a great nugget. Don't wait to ask for help.
Yeah. Yes,
Awesome.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Ali, this has been so incredible. How do people get in touch with you or your company to benefit from your services?
Sure. So phone number 765-269-7604 or the website pinkteamgroup.com. I'm like, oh my God, what was it?
Well, it's
Yes.
It's growing and manifesting in some of their voice, and if you go there's lots of pink on it. I've seen that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ali, again, thank you so much. Everyone will be blessed to hear this, and happy to help in any way that I possibly can. Everyone, that's a wrap.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to The Roll Call with John Glahn. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe for more insightful conversations. Remember, discovering your true role in life is a journey worth exploring each and every day. Until next time, keep defining your path and living your authentic self. This is John Glahn signing off.